Hello, glad to have you here. This is from the CBN. I'm Emefiele. Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, has reiterated that the bank, through the deployment of well-targeted intervention programs to farmers in the rural communities, is helping the federal government's efforts at improving job and wealth creation in the country. That was at the inauguration of the first National Agricultural Land Development Authority Integrated Farm Estate in Daura, Katsina State on Monday. We have details in today's package. Also, the CBN governor had 2 awards bestowed on him this past week by 2 separate bodies in recognition of his contributions towards the stability of the Nigerian economy. We'll bring you that and more, but first, let's bring you up to speed on the news highlights from the Central Bank of Nigeria this week. The CBN Monetary Policy Committee will hold its July meetings next week, Monday and Tuesday, at the bank's headquarters in Abuja. The committee at its last meeting in May had projected that in the domestic environment, economy would remain on the trajectory of recovery, reflecting the cautious, optimistic trend in global output recovery. On whether to loosen, hold or tighten the monetary policy parameters, members were of the view that a tight stance would hamper the bank's objectives of providing low-cost credit to households, micro, small and medium enterprises, agriculture and other output growth and employment-stimulating sectors of the economy. The committee, therefore, by a unanimous vote, decided to hold all policy parameters constant. That is, the interest rate at 11.5%, asymmetric corridor of plus 100, minus 700 basis points around the MPR, CRR at 27.5% and liquidity ratio at 30%. The Central Bank of Nigeria has listed 3 companies that are allowed to import sugar into the country based on the reasonable progress they have made in achieving backward integration in the sector. The 3 companies are Boa Sugar Refinery Limited, Dangote Sugar Refinery PLC and Golden Sugar Company. The Director, CBN Trade and Exchange Department, Dr. Ozomina Naji, in a letter to all authorized dealers and the general public last Friday, directed that dealers shall not open Form M or access foreign exchange in the Nigerian foreign exchange market for any company, including the 3 listed ones, for the importation of sugar without the prior and express approval of the CBN. The federal government of Nigeria, under the National Sugar Development Council, established the Nigerian Sugar Master Plan to encourage and incentivize sugar refining companies in their backward integration program for the local production of sugar. The CBN says cybersecurity awareness is a key element in mitigating cyber risks and that the bank is ever ready to partner industry stakeholders to sustain education on safe cyber practices. Director, CBN Banking Supervision Department, Mr. Haruna Mustafa, at a financial industry media parley in Lagos during the week, explained that as a result of the rise in digital payment, which is facilitated by fintechs, open banking and emerging new technologies, cybersecurity threats have also increased. To improve the resilience of supervised institutions, Mustafa said the CBN has taken some steps, including the issuance of risk-based cybersecurity framework and guidelines for deposit money banks. However, the human element remains a weak link, requiring awareness and enlightenment. A public enlightenment program and cyber awareness initiative #NoGoForMaga aimed at reducing cybercrime and financial fraud was launched at the event.
Up until a few years ago, Nigeria produced far less than it consumed, spending up to $22 billion annually on importation. Then came the import policy by the federal government. Now, to survive, the nation must learn to be self-sufficient. And so far, we are on the verge of achieving this through the intervention of the Central Bank of Nigeria and other stakeholders in support of local farmers and efforts of value chain entrepreneurs. Now, the goal of creating 10 million jobs in 5 years through 10 commodities is gradually being actualized. Let's buy Nigerian to grow Nigeria.
Welcome back, and if you're just joining us, this is from the CBN. President Muhammadu Buhari, in company of the CBN Governor, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, on Monday, 19th July, inaugurated the first ever National Agriculture Land Development Authority Integrated Farm Estate in Sudije, Dara, Katsina State, with a pledge that under his watch, Nigeria will achieve food security. Emphasizing that no excuse is good enough for Nigeria to remain a mono economy, President Muhammadu Buhari, while performing the inauguration of the integrated farm, also restated his administration's goal of ensuring that Nigeria produces what it eats and eats what it produces.
With the support of public institutions like the Central Bank and the Bank of Agriculture, all tools are giving way to more mechanized style of farming. Credit lines are becoming more accessible and farming is becoming more acceptable and fashionable. Indeed, we are witnessing a revolution in the agricultural sector. This administration will be achieving agricultural mechanization through this scheme, and I am confident that Nigeria under my watch will achieve food security in producing most of what we eat. In good harvest years, we may even export our surpluses and earn foreign exchange.
Speaking at the event, Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, said the bank would collaborate with the National Agricultural Land Development Authority, NALDA, to replicate similar integrated farm estates across the country, providing affordable and accessible finance to farmers in the rural communities.
I'd like to reiterate that the strategic mandate of NALDA aligns with the current developmental priorities of the CBN. Our development finance programs are aimed at harnessing the vast agricultural and human resources in Nigeria towards increasing cultivation and processing of agricultural commodities in Nigeria. Through the deployment of well-targeted intervention programs to farmers in our rural communities, we are aiding the government's effort at improving job and wealth creation. These measures are also supporting our nation's food security objectives. Nigeria is likely to make significant strides over the next 3 years in repositioning our agricultural sector for greater growth, given the combined efforts of NALDA and the CBN in making land and credit available to farmers. The CBN has introduced several lending programs and provided finance to these sectors and segments, with their implementation tailored to support the administration's policy of repositioning Nigeria to become a self-sufficient food producer, creating millions of jobs and supplying our domestic industries with their raw materials needs. Our development finance efforts were also driven by the need to diversify the economy by reversing the ugly trend of relying largely on revenues from crude oil.
The Executive Secretary of the NALDA, Prince Paul Ikone, who said that the firm has the capacity to employ more than 1,500 workers, also disclosed that 2 to 3 more states will inaugurate similar integrated farm estates before year end.
With presidential directives, we will have no time to waste. I know that before the end of this year, 2 or 3 more states will be ready to be rolled out. Each facility, for example, the poultry aspect alone, every month we're expecting to make 500 550 million naira monthly from the poultry, both from egg production and meat production. And you know, we are not doing frozen fish, but we are not doing frozen chicken, but we are doing dry chicken, which is a new modern way to preserve them. Instead of frozen fish, we are going to do frozen chicken. So in the poultry alone will be giving us like 550 million every month. Our oven is pure stainless, NAFDAC standard. So we took this into consideration. Don't forget that it's Mr. President that is supervising NALDA directly. NALDA reports to Mr. President, so he knows the best agricultural practices. So based on that, the equipment that we have procured are of the best standard, and they are locally fabricated. Like the ovens, they are pure stainless, and our products are organic. Like you have seen, every other product is recycled. So there's no way they will go out and not be qualified or not be certified by the country and all that.
Here, there are 40 poultry pens with more than 40,000 birds capacity, 200,000 capacity fish ponds, cows and goats pens with a capacity of 500 animals, 3,000 capacity rabbit pens, bee apiary with a capacity of 540 liters of honey per harvest, crop farming and more. Expected to generate 1.7 billion naira in the first year. That integrated farm will surely bring succor to a lot of households in the state and its environs. The good news is, such will be replicated in other states across the country, generating employment and boosting agricultural production. Moving on now, as part of the recognition for the groundbreaking efforts of the CBN governor, Mr. Godwin Emefiele and his team in supporting Nigeria's pharmaceutical industry, the Association of Industrial Pharmacists of Nigeria, at the closing banquet of its 24th annual conference last Thursday in Lagos, presented to him an award of excellence. President of the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, Mazi Sam Oabunwa, who commended the Central Bank of Nigeria for supporting the sector, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic, acknowledged that the sectoral contribution of the pharmaceutical industry to the country's GDP is still very low, but he expressed his desire for more to be done.
I believe that we have taken a lot of intellectual work, a lot of innovation, a lot of new ideas and things to do, not only to raise the quantum of products we make locally, not only to raise the value addition, but to generally improve the national economy. Because we all agree that the contribution of the pharmaceutical industry to the gross domestic product is still not satisfactory, actually below par. And I believe that one of the things we are looking at is how to raise the GDP of the GDP contribution by the pharma industry. And in speaking about GDP contribution, let me be eager, because I'm sure the time will come, maybe when citations will be read, but let me be eager to acknowledge the CBN for the very great role they have played and are playing to support the industry. Please join me in clapping for Central Bank of Nigeria.
The CBN governor, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, could not be present to receive the award, but he was ably represented by the Acting Director, Corporate Communications Department, Mr. Osita Nwanisobi. Nwanisobi thanked the association on behalf of the governor, using the opportunity to harp on the people-oriented focus of the Emefiele-led CBN.
The governor of the CBN was very, very clear in his mind when he assumed duties as the 10th governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, the vision that he had and the kind of central bank that he wants to bequeath to this nation. And that is a people-centric central bank of Nigeria that would speak to the developmental needs of the Nigerian people. And it was very, very clear in his mind. I would also want to let you know that he understood very perfectly the need for us to upscale our health infrastructure. And so he didn't mince words at all when he said, as part of his strategic intent, that we need to end medical tourism in Nigeria. And that was before the pandemic. We never knew that a time would come when the global economy will be shut down and there wouldn't even be travels, that even when you have when you have so much money around you, you wouldn't be able to travel out of this country to get even medical attention. Nobody ever knew that. But then he had envisioned that we needed to end medical tourism. And so it wasn't any surprise that when the pandemic hit us, and of course it hit the global world in a very profound manner, that in a globalized economy, a globalized world, we started seeing countries, walking insular. We saw a lot of export restrictions. We saw, and especially with respect to drugs, India shut down. They weren't going to export drugs. They weren't going to export some of these pharmaceuticals to Nigeria. And the CBN governor came up immediately with an intervention to support health infrastructure in Nigeria. And that intervention is the Health Sector Intervention Facility, a 100 billion naira facility. And under that facility today, under that facility, the central bank has disbursed about 97.8 billion to 95 projects, and both greenfield and brownfield projects across the nation. But to also follow it up, he also established the healthcare research and development intervention scheme to energize our pharmacists to be able to begin to research into vaccines that would help out with this coronavirus and other communicable diseases. And under that also, we received applications, about 286 applications. We've reviewed about 83 applications. And out of that 286, 70 applications have been evaluated by the body of experts established by the Central Bank of Nigeria. And out of that, 5 have been approved, valued at 232 million naira. And I must tell you, these are part of the things that the central bank is doing to strengthen the health care sector, strengthen our healthcare infrastructure. And the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, is poised to do much, much more. I thank you so very much for this honor done to him, and I must tell you that he cherishes this award.
The CBN governor, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, also bagged the award of the Public Sector Icon of the Year 2020 at the Vanguard newspaper's Personality of the Year Awards ceremony. The award ceremony was a 2-in-1 event as it combined the awardees of the year 2019 with those of 2020 on account of the COVID-19 pandemic, which prevented it from holding last year. It was also due to the event's strict compliance with the COVID-19 protocols that no speeches were allowed from the awardees, apart from the welcome address from the chairperson of the occasion, Chief Dr. Mrs. Nike Akonde.
I'm very happy that we can do this event. After a 2-year postponement due to the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic, we appreciate God's kindness towards us to be able to assemble here today. I recall that the 2019 edition of this event was suspended indefinitely. 10 hours to its consummation because of COVID-19. Because COVID-19 had suddenly become a pandemic and there was no cure then.
The CBN governor, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, was recognized for his leadership and innovative strategies to navigate the Nigerian economy through hurdles such as the challenge of foreign exchange inflow, economic recession, stagflation, financial inclusion, and the gap in the value chains of majority of crops in Nigeria.
Fertilizer Initiative and the Shared Agent Network Expansion Facility, SANEF, amongst others, to directly support enterprises with huge potential for job creation, conservation of foreign exchange, import substitution, as well as financial inclusion. Godwin Emefiele is the Vanguard Public Sector Icon of the Year.
Going by the amount of money that he controls, I don't know why we can't put His Excellency in front of Governor of CBN.
There were awardees recognized for lifetime achievements.
On the scholarship of the Commonwealth Press Union in 1967, Chief Oshoba ruled.
Awardees recognized for philanthropic gestures and entrepreneurship exploits.
Of Zenon Petroleum and Gas Limited, and a major shareholder of Fort Oil PLC and owner.
Awardees for accomplishments in governance. There was no dull moment. Popular artists serenaded the guests at intervals.
From Nigeria to just go flange for Dubai. I travel to America just to go charge my phone. But the people make it. Everybody, let's go. Hey, I said, when money not there, people they can't live there. When money not there, everybody run away. When money not there, na. People they used to the pay. I said, when money not there, nobody look at my face.
Some of the measures taken by the Emefiele-led team at the CBN to mitigate the adverse impact of the pandemic on households and businesses included the mobilization of key stakeholders in the Nigerian economy through the COVID Alliance, which led to the provision of over 27 billion naira in relief materials to households and the setting up of 39 isolation centers across the country, the creation of the targeted credit facility for affected households and small and medium enterprises through the NASL Microfinance Bank, which has disbursed in excess of 250 billion naira to 548,345 beneficiaries as at May ending.
Nigeria is a rich nation of green land, rich resources, countless crops and commodities sufficient to feed and provide a means of livelihood for her teeming population. Chin up, Nigeria, the giant of Africa. Exciting times are here. We can be self-reliant and grow our economy if we work together to explore our potential. It takes a whole nation. Let us get involved. Buy Nigerian to grow Nigeria.
Welcome back, but if you're just tuning in, we have come to the end of this week's package from the CBN. Be sure to check out the website of the Central Bank of Nigeria using www.cbn.gov.ng to learn more about its various economic intervention schemes, or better still, locate the CBN branch office in your state. You can call the CBN contact center using the phone line below for your valid complaints. Remember, local queries may apply. Keep sending your comments and contributions to the email address from the cbn@gmail.com and follow us on the social media for updates and uploaded episodes of the program. Join us again next time. I am Emisi Dada. Stay safe and bye for now.